Hey y'all, welcome back to Magnolia Pines Homestead. I am in the garden today and I wanted to share with you what my spring garden is looking like. So I am a pretty novice gardener. I did have years ago a little square foot garden that I kind of played around with. We grew some like strawberries when we lived in Kentucky. I think we were zone 6B or 6A there, I don't remember. And I played around, I got some tomatoes out of it, everything. And then we moved overseas. So now we are settled in the northwest Florida Panhandle. We are zone 8B, and it's a completely different environment down here. So we're getting used to it. I'm exploring. That is my whole ordeal, is don't be afraid to try. I am growing much more this year than I did last year, and I'm excited to share it with you. Let me show it off. It is still a little bit of a hot mess in here. I've got some more weeding to do. I tackled a ton of it on this side. I need to go get more mulch. It's doing a lot better back there with weeds compared to where I didn't have it. But check out this beautiful rosemary. This I actually planted last year. Now, on my garden last year did not do very well. I had the rosemary. I had a little bit of basil. I had sweet potatoes that actually did pretty well. And that's about it. I think I got maybe one jalapeno. So we're trying again this year. Now, as you can see, we don't have a lot of shade here right now. Most of our pine trees are around 10 to 12 feet tall. So what I do is as it begins to heat up, right now it's staying between 70 to 80 degrees. So it's not terrible for the tomatoes and everything that's growing. But I will tie off a shade cloth that I get at Harbor Freight, and I just connect it to the top of the trellises. And then that way, any of the tomatoes and the jalapenos that need a little bit of shade in the afternoon sun, since it's the hottest, will have a little bit of shade. One of my goals this year is to learn to focus more on growing crops that we actually eat, in addition to hopefully growing a little bit more that I can potentially learn to can with and put those away for the winter time. Now, while we do have a really great growing season here, there are some certain things that we can't grow in the winter time that I still enjoy eating, such as green beans and maybe some fresh tomatoes. So I'm going to focus on doing that this year. And while I know that tomatoes don't necessarily usually do very well here, I'm still going to try because that's all part of our goal here, is not to be afraid to try. This year I got Irish cobbler potato starts from Haas Tools, and I'm trying them in grow bags. They seem to be doing great. I did plant those late if you saw an earlier video, but they have taken off, and I've just been hilling them up a little bit more in the bags as the potatoes grow. Carrots back there. But they're doing great. I did cover them when we had that hard frost in February. I covered them up with some straw. They looked like they were gonna die off, but they came right back. And I'm excited to see, even if we just get new potatoes, I'll be happy with them. They're looking great. Something new for this year is I'm really focusing on companion planting and also anything herb-wise that will help deter pests. We had some squash bugs last year, which I had to Google. Again, novice, I was like, what is this on my plant? So Google was my friend with that. I am focusing on planting some marigolds. I've got some dill. I've got spearmint that will be nearby, as well as basil is a great deterrent as well. And garlic planted next to my tomatoes. We're just really focusing on doing anything natural wise to help keep those pests away. This bed is still a little bit of an early spring going on. I've got huge radishes growing. I need to pick that for lunch. Looks delicious. Got some kale that is still shooting up over here, some spinach. I think that's what it was. And then in the middle, I've gone ahead and I planted some green pepper, well, bell peppers. And I've got some peas that I'm attempting to train to trellis. All right, disclaimer. I did try peas last year, and for some reason they instead wanted to grow left and right and pretty much just attack each other. So since I could not get them to trellis last spring, what I am doing is every morning I'm coming out here and then just taking any bit of the pea that I can and wrapping the vine around the trellis and trying to force it going. So far they're starting to go upwards, which is a win for me. Garlic has taken off. It's doing great. Seems to be really enjoying this soil, even though I had some ants try to attack it, but it's doing great so far. I'm really excited to see once it's time to pull those off. Also, the garlic scapes, looking forward to those. Got some more tomatoes that are planted along this other trellis here, little baby tomatoes. And then something else I'm focusing on this year, again, is more herbal remedies. So I've got some calendula here that I planted, in hopes of also deterring some pests away from those tomatoes as they slowly grow up. In addition to growing crops that we already know we like, I wanted to try out some fun ones as well. So last year I was gifted a roselle plant and I grew one of those. I really enjoyed making tea out of it, so I saved those seeds last year. And I've got a few little plants growing on the outside over here, as well as I'm trying out ground cherries. So I planted the, it's something Molly. We'll have to look it up, but I'm really excited to try those out. They look like they're going to be delicious, and they kind of look like a little tomatillo when they drop, and they have a little husk on them. I am trying out two types of beans this year. I got some bush beans from Haas Tools, and I've actually got those planted in one of the little kind of like experimental beds that I've made. I softened the ground underneath with the hoe, and then I just kind of made little mounds. Those actually worked really well for sweet potatoes last year, so I'm going to do some succession planting over here with the bush beans. And in addition, I've got some more cattle panels that I'm going to make some more trellises with, and I'm going to plant out in the large field here, which I'll show you next. And I'm going to do some pole beans on that and try those out just to see which one do well here. So my lovely hubs and our oldest came through and cleared out this huge section here. It's roughly, I think I measured 56 feet back that way. Not sure across, but huge area that I can expand my garden this year. Right here is where I've got the Wapsie Valley corn. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. And I'm just going through every couple days pulling out of the weeds as they continue to pop up in between. And then I just marked them with little sticks at the end. Gavin helped me do that. Also at the back I have some spaghetti squash. I'm going to extend with another hose to make sure that it's getting water back there because it's been fairly dry lately. My goal today is to get some more weeding done back here in the large field. I'm going to get some okra planted, not just for me doing some pickling this year, but also as some feed for our animals, our pigs over there. And also I'm going to get some tromboncino seeds in the ground as well. So when we were at HOA last October in Virginia, the Dohertys gave out some mangelwurzel. Hopefully I said that correctly this time. And also some tromboncino seeds because they are really great as supplemental feed for your livestock. And again, as I mentioned in the video right after HOA, that is something that we definitely want to work towards. We're not just having to purchase feed from the feed store so often. Anything that we can grow on our own and feed our livestock is thumbs up in my book. One of the things that I really missed last year in our garden, oh, hello. Okay. That's perfect for my next topic. Oh, Lordy. All right. So one of the things I really missed in my garden last year was one, bees. And two, we didn't have that pop of color that I was used to seeing. So it's quite brown out here since we're building. Dust is always getting stirred up. So one of the things I also focused on this spring was planting a nasturtium at the corner of my raised beds. When they are grown, they're going to give a beautiful pop of color, and they're also edible. I also started seedlings of echinacea, different types of coneflower. We've got bee balm that I'll be putting out here as well. Anything that's going to bring in those good pollinators to get the garden going, help spread around all that pollen, and really just hopefully make my garden vibrant and gorgeous. Did want to share a quick tip that I learned last year. So if you are doing raised beds like I am, you're going to have a lot of space that you need to fill up, right? Because you can't just put just a little bit of soil in there and call it a day. So I am doing the hugelkultur method, where you just put logs and sticks, and then we'll put cardboard in there, as well as some topsoil, some compost, some rabbit manure, and the beds look like that. It is time for me to get to work making some more trellises in that garden out there. Thanks again for hopping on. I will update you as our garden continues to grow. Please comment any tips or tricks you have. Let me know what you're growing this season, what you are excited to see in your garden. I, as a newbie, love to learn from y'all, and I'm sure I am not the only one out there. So any tips or tricks that you have to share, please do so down below. Y'all have an amazing day, and we'll catch you in the next video. Soup and everybody, you look like you're getting ready to pop, girl.